Some nights trap you in their rhythm, turning minutes into prisons where time itself becomes the warden. Marcus had worked the night shift at QuikStop for 3 years. He knew the rhythm by heart, the fluorescent lights humming their electric lullaby, the coffee maker gurgling to life every hour, the steady stream of late-night customers seeking energy drinks, cigarettes, and temporary salvation from whatever kept them awake. 11:30 brought Mrs. Chen, clutching exact change for her nightly pack of Virginia Slims. 11:45 meant Jake, the security guard from the office building next door, grabbing his usual Red Bull and bag of peanuts. Midnight belonged to the college students, desperate for caffeine and instant ramen. Tonight felt no different. Mrs. Chen shuffled through the automatic doors at exactly 11:30, her slippers making soft whispers against the linoleum. Marcus rang up her cigarettes, watching her count out the coins with arthritic fingers. She nodded her thanks and disappeared into the darkness beyond the parking lot. 15 minutes later, Jake pushed through the doors. "Evening, Marcus," he called, heading straight for the energy drink cooler. Same greeting, same route, same Red Bull and peanuts. The register beeped as Marcus scanned the items. But something nagged at him as Jake walked away. The security camera monitor showed the timestamp, 11:47 p.m. Dondi. That seemed right. Except, Marcus glanced at the receipt printer. The thermal paper curled out, showing Jake's purchase time as 11:43 p.m. Dond. 4 minutes off. The register clock must be running fast again. Marcus was adjusting the time display when Mrs. Chen walked through the doors. Again. He looked up, confused. She'd just been here. He'd just sold her cigarettes 20 minutes ago. But there she was, shuffling across the floor in her house slippers, counting coins in her palm with the same methodical precision. "Evening," she said, placing exact change on the counter. Marcus stared at the coins. Same denomination, same arrangement, even the same smudge of dirt on the quarter. "Didn't you just—" he started, but Mrs. Chen was already reaching for the cigarettes he hadn't yet pulled from the rack. "Virginia Slims," she said. The usual. His hands moved automatically, muscle memory overriding confusion. The scanner beeped. The register opened. She took her cigarettes and left, disappearing into the same darkness, following the exact same path toward the parking lot. Marcus watched the security monitor. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. Still 11:47 p.m. on. The fluorescent lights above flickered once, casting his reflection in the window in sharp, stuttering frames. For just a moment, in the glass, he thought he saw someone else standing behind him. But when he turned, the store was empty. Just the hum of refrigeration units and the distant sound of traffic. Normal sounds. Normal night. Except Mrs. Moise. Chen's coins were still warm on the counter, and the receipt showed she'd bought cigarettes at 11:43 p.m. Again. Jake walked through the doors at 11:45. Again. "Evening, Marcus," he said, following his usual path to the energy drink cooler. Same greeting. Same route. Same Red Bull and peanuts. Marcus's hands trembled as he scanned the items. The register showed 11:47 p.m., but the receipt printed 11:43. Jake took his change, nodded goodbye, and walked out into the night. 3 minutes later, Jake walked back in. "Evening, Marcus." Identical inflection. Identical smile. This time, Marcus didn't move. He watched Jake walk to the cooler, select the same Red Bull, grab the same bag of peanuts. Every step matched the previous visit. Every gesture perfectly synchronized with some invisible choreography. "Sir?" Jake stood at the counter, items in hand. "You okay?" Marcus forced himself to scan the products. His fingers felt disconnected from his body, like he was watching someone else work the register. The beep sounded hollow, wrong somehow. Jake left again, following the same path into darkness. The wall clock's hands hadn't moved. Still 11:47. Marcus grabbed the small hand and yanked it forward. The mechanism resisted, then snapped back to 11:47 with a sharp, defiant tick. He tried again. The same result as if the clock were mocking him. 11:47. Always 11:47. The automatic doors slid open. Mrs. Chen entered. Marcus felt his chest tighten. "You were just here," he said aloud. "20 minutes ago. And 10 minutes before that." "Nancy." She approached the counter with her familiar shuffle, counting coins with mechanical precision. "Virginia Slims," she said. "The usual." "No, Toddy." Marcus stepped back from the register. "No, this isn't. You keep coming back. The same time. The same everything." Mrs. Chen placed exact change on the counter. Her movements were precise, automatic, like she was following instructions written in her bones, programmed into her very being. "Virginia Slims," she repeated. "The usual." Marcus looked at her face, really looked. Her eyes were focused somewhere beyond him, as if she were seeing through him to something else entirely. The coins in her palm were arranged in the exact same pattern as before. The same smudge on the quarter, the same worn edge on the dime. He rang up the sale with shaking hands. She took the cigarettes and left, her slippers whispering the same rhythm across the linoleum. The coffee maker gurgled to life, starting a fresh pot. It had done that 15 minutes ago, and 15 minutes before that. Marcus pulled out his phone. 11:47 p.m. He refreshed the display. 11:47 p.m. The seconds weren't even counting. Time had become a photograph, frozen and immutable. The security camera monitor flickered. For just a moment, the timestamp changed. 11:43, 11:44, 11:45, 11:46, 11:47. Then it locked again. 11:47 p.m. Like a record skipping on the same note. The automatic doors slid open. Jake walked in. "Evening, Marcus." But this time, Marcus saw something else in the security monitor. Behind Jake's approaching figure, other shapes moved in the parking lot. Shadows that walked in precise patterns, following invisible paths, moving toward the store in perfect intervals. All of them coming to buy the same things. All of them trapped in the same 17 minutes. All of them except him. "Jake, listen to me." Marcus grabbed the security guard's arm as he reached for the Red Bull. "You've been here 4 times tonight. Same conversation, same purchase. Don't you remember?" Jake's face remained pleasant, blank. "Evening, Marcus," he said again, pulling free. His arm felt wrong under Marcus's grip. Too cold, too rigid, like touching mannequin skin wrapped around clockwork. "No, you already said that." "You." Marcus watched in horror as Jake's mouth moved, forming the same greeting again. "Evening, Marcus. Evening, Marcus. Evening, Marcus." "Nay." The words overlapped, creating an echo that shouldn't exist in the small store. Jake's face never changed expression. His eyes stared through Marcus to some fixed point behind him, as if Marcus were invisible. Marcus stumbled backward, knocking over a display of candy bars. They scattered across the floor, but instead of random chaos, they fell in perfect geometric patterns. Each wrapper landed face up, aligned with mathematical precision that hurt to look at. "What is this place?" Marcus shouted at the empty store. "What's happening to me?" The automatic doors slid open. Mrs. Chen walked in. Behind her came Jake. Behind Jake came Mrs. Chen again. Then Jake. Then Mrs. Chen. Then both together, walking in synchronized steps, their movements perfectly coordinated like dancers following the same eternal choreography. Marcus ran toward the exit doors. The sensors should have triggered them, but the glass remained solid, unyielding. He pressed his palms against the surface, leaving desperate handprints. Through the glass, he could see the parking lot, but it wasn't the same parking lot. The asphalt stretched endlessly, repeating the same pattern of painted lines and lampposts into impossible distance. The windows along the sides of the store showed different views. Not the gas pumps and street that belonged there, but a corridor of identical QuikStop stores, each one containing its own night clerk behind its own register. all of them looking back at him with his own terrified face. "Virginia Slims," said Mrs. Chen. "Red Bull and peanuts," said Jake. "Virginia Slims," said the second Mrs. Chen. "Red Bull and peanuts," said the second Jake. Their voices began to synchronize, creating a rhythm, a chant that seemed to come from the walls themselves. The fluorescent lights flickered in time with their words. The coffee maker gurgled. The register beeped without being touched. Marcus spun around. More customers were entering, faces he recognized from previous nights, previous weeks, previous months. The college student who bought energy drinks at midnight. The drunk businessman who needed aspirin at 2 a.m. The night nurse who stopped for coffee on her way to work. All of them walking toward him with measured, identical steps. All of them speaking in unison now. "Evening, Marcus. Virginia Slims. Red Bull and peanuts. The usual. Evening, Marcus. The usual. The usual. The usual. Their eyes were all wrong. Not looking at him but through him, as if he were the one who wasn't really there. As if he were the ghost haunting their perfect routine. Marcus backed against the register, trapped between the counter and the advancing crowd of customers. Their faces were beginning to blur together, features shifting and merging like melting wax. "What do you want?" he whispered. They stopped walking. In perfect unison, every face turned toward him. "Your shift isn't over," they said with one voice. "It's 11:47 p.m. Marcus grabbed the baseball bat from under the register, the one management kept for emergencies that never came. This qualified as an emergency. He swung it at the wall clock with desperate fury, shattering glass and twisted metal across the floor. The customers vanished. Silence rushed back into the store like water filling a vacuum. The fluorescent lights stopped flickering. The coffee maker fell quiet. Even the hum of the refrigeration units faded to nothing, leaving only the sound of his own ragged breathing. Marcus stood alone among scattered clock pieces, the bat trembling in his hands. Broken glass crunched under his feet as he stepped toward where the customers had been standing moments before. Nothing. Not even footprints in the dust that had somehow accumulated on the floor during his 3-year tenure. He looked at the register display. Blank. The security monitor showed static. His phone screen was black, unresponsive to touch. But something was different. The air felt thinner, like the atmosphere before a storm. The silence wasn't empty. It was waiting, holding its breath. Marcus walked to the doors. This time, the sensors triggered. The glass slid open with a soft hiss, revealing the parking lot exactly as it should be. Gas pumps, street lights, the office building where Jake worked his own night shift. Real. Normal. Present. He stepped outside, feeling cool night air against his skin for the first time in what felt like hours or years. The digital clock on the bank across the street showed 12:03 a.m. Time was moving again. Marcus pulled out his phone. The screen flickered to life. 12:03 a.m. He refreshed it. 12:04 a.m. The seconds were counting. Precious and finite. "Thank God," he whispered and walked back into the store. The wall clock was intact. Unbroken glass, undamaged hands pointing to 11:47 p.m. 11:47 p.m. Marcus looked at his phone again. 12:04 a.m. Then back at the wall clock. 11:47 p.m. and reality had split, showing him two different truths. The coffee maker gurgled to life. The automatic door slid open. Mrs. Chen shuffled inside, counting coins in her palm with mechanical precision. "Virginia Slims," she said. "The usual." Marcus stared at her, bat still clutched in his white-knuckled hands. She approached the counter as if nothing had happened, as if he weren't holding a weapon, as if the last hour, or was it longer, hadn't occurred. But something was different now. He could see it in her movements. They were too precise, too practiced, like she'd performed this routine not dozens of times, but thousands, tens of thousands. How long had he been here? Marcus looked at the security camera monitor. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m. But in the corner of the screen, so small he almost missed it, was another number. A counter, increasing with each customer visit. 23,847. 23,847 cycles. His legs gave out. He sank behind the register, still holding the bat, as Mrs. Chen waited patiently for her cigarettes with the patience of someone who had all the time in the world. Through the windows, Marcus could see Jake approaching from the office building. Same path, same timing, walking with the measured steps of someone who had made this journey 23,000 times before. How long? Marcus asked the empty store, but he knew the answer was written in the customer's glassy eyes, in the unchanging clock, in the weight of endless repetition pressing down on his shoulders. It had always been 11:47 p.m. It would always be 11:47 p.m., and his shift was never going to end.